Hello, and welcome to today's LOL Esports Roundup, where we're going to cover the games that took place this morning in the LPL and LCK, and then preview tomorrow's schedule in the LPL, LCK, and LCS. Also, one roster move to touch on as well. LCS recap for Week 3, Day 1 will be on tomorrow's video, as is the case with my Roundups. LCS games come out on the day after's Roundup due to time constraints, and the video will be coming out during LCS tomorrow because that's just when I get out of work. It is what it is. So predictions, if you are a member, the LCS predictions will be in a post form. You will see the LPL and LCK upload shortly after this. News. HLE called up Grizzly to play in the jungle. Clid has some serious allegations against him right now of the harassment, and based on what the rumors are, or at least what I have seen on, it's only, Reddit, Twitter, and things like that. So take this for what you will. I'm not claiming to say which, what's right and what's wrong in terms of factual stuff. I'm just saying what I've seen and what evidently HLE are, benching Clid for are of the, harassment variety and even worse things than that, honestly. So we'll see how that pans out. It's ironic. We have Leave a month ago with the prostitution allegations, and now Clid with harassment allegations. And, when was the last time you could really say, like, premier Eastern players being in trouble for things like this? Now, people might say aiming, but even aiming this year, I guess. So that's 3 in, like, a couple months here. It's quite the thing. So Grizzly is 18 years old and had to come in and play on a whim against D+ So Canyon. Arguably, in some eyes, the best jungler ever. I think he's in that conversation alongside Score. So Grizzly had a 5.5 KDA, 5.7 CS per minute, 75 KP in 15 games between spring and summer in CK. Like I said, only 18 years old, a very raw player. 360 gold per minute, 337 damage per minute. So 19% of the team's gold, 15.5% of the damage. On average, was getting a lead in CK, 370 gold, 5 CS, and 165 XP up. Only one solo kill, 4 champions in 15 games. I mean, we'll see what he does. Clid has been the weak part of HLE for a while now. He has been the inter, right? What held them back in spring, and in summer I thought he was doing better. He was hitting all his smites and things, but who knows what this is going to do for HLE going forward. Can Grizzly kind of just mesh right into the team? We have seen young players do that in the past with star-studded rosters. It does come down to Viper, I believe, and Life to really be the veteran presence on this team. I believe they are the oldest players on it. Predictions, 123 and 51. I went 4-1 this morning as we try and stay above 70%. We had a couple really bad days earlier in the week. Start us off, Rare Adam and Thunder Talk. Rare Adam would go to 4-6 as they 2-0 Thunder Talk, who are now 2-8. Asum was my MVP, 14-5-7, 32% of damage. Strive, 5-1-14 in mid. 1XN, 7-7-6, 34% of damage in the loss. Rare Adam were very active. I felt like Layan was ahead of Beshwan by a mile. I felt like Beshwan really didn't make many plays at all, to be quite honest. And for better or for worse, Layan was trying to make things happen, and Asum got a kill on Draven, which in and of itself is a thing, right? I talk about it. I don't like a Draven pick in a game that's close. I think you're looking at a 50-50 situation with that champion. Zhao Zhu probably had a good case to be MVP in this one. I thought in Game 1 on the K'Sante he was very good, and in Game 2 I thought he was very impactful. Maybe the MVP of Game 2 individually, but Asum was excellent in both games. Strive was very good. Thunder Talk, Wanfeng is just not playing at all now, I guess. So we had 1XN and Yao Yao today for Game 1. I think for Game 2 as well, but I don't quote me on that. I mix up Yao Yao and Yu Yanja. We got two Y supports going on here. Thunder Talk are a disaster. Very big disappointment. And Rare Atom obviously doing work, right? Beating another team that they should beat. Yeah. RNG, Anyone's Legend. Anyone's Legend upsets RNG. So they're 3-7 as they 2-1 RNG, who are 14th in the power rankings and 5-5. Power rankings did come out last night and were updated. iBoy went 14-7-20, 35% of damage. Zhao Hao was my MVP, going 18-7-17. Tangwan, 17-6, 23, 32% of damage. The mid laner for RNG has put together a couple good series in a row, and I think a lot of people deserve to. I think even myself, I condemn Tangwan. I still have my reservations, but I do have to acknowledge he's played well for a couple series now, despite the record being the way it is. He's stepped it up, whereas, in team fights, the team isn't really getting it done. Zhao Hao was, like I said, the MVP. He was excellent. His Nocturne was absolutely disgusting. One of the better Nocturne performances back-to-back I've seen all year. Just really on top of it. Solo killing side laners. Like, I think he solo killed Tangwan at one point, and also pretty much solo killed Breathe. Solo killed Wei. He was on top of it on the Nocturne, and it was powerful. As far as elsewhere is concerned, iBoy and Zora did find opportunities in team fights to make things happen. That's why iBoy had so much damage, right? ZDZ did okay into Breathe. Didn't allow Breathe to take advantage of him. Breathe needs to if they want to win. Wei needs to take advantage of Zhao Hao if they want to win. But Wei did not show up. And like I said, it goes as far as Wei wants to take the team. Wei did not want to really take them very far today. Anyone's Legend. Well, so another thing about this, the macro in this series was interesting. RNG very, very, tunnel visioned on taking objectives, and AL making things happen, right? So I say this all the time, you have to at least offset the objectives. If you're giving one up, you need to go find gold elsewhere. You need to make up for that Drake, whatever the gold amount is, to maybe get an item to offset it, things like that. And Anyone's Legend did find that. And that's why Zhao Hao was important, because he's like, okay, well, I lost a Drake, but I'm going to go get a kill. Or we lost a Drake, we're going to go get some plates. And, I thought that was a big deal. That's what teams need to do. Lastly, Ultra Prime EDG. EDG would win. They're 16th in the power rankings, 5-5, as they 2-1 up, who are 4-6. Uzi was MVP, going 27-3-18, 30% of damage. Fofo, a very good series at 12-4-17. Forge, 8-12-13, 28% of damage in the loss. Most of Fofo's impact came in Game 2 and 3. Game 1 was sus. Forge was excellent on the Annie in that one and made Fofo look really bad on a Tristana, which I believe is one of the best picks in the game right now. But Uzi came online in Games 2 and 3 and just dominated. His Ezreal performance was 16 kills in Game 2, his most played champion in his career. And also very interesting, when I looked those stats up, Jinx is the only champion he's played more than 10 times. That's a current, ADC, right? Corky's not an ADC to me. That he has a negative win rate on. So we see a little bit of Jinx in the meta. Uzi actually has a negative win rate on that. 5-6. But nevertheless, that's not relevant. Uzi was excellent. And in Game 3, he was very good on the Aphelios. He took over. He took over. Even in Game 1, they weren't as impactful. Like I said, Forge really made a lot of stuff happen alongside Ning, and JJ was just gapped, in my opinion, and Fofo just had no answer. But Uzi, Mako were up 50 CS or 30 CS on Doggo and Sword Art. They were ahead in the loss. But then Games 2 and 3, they took over and dominated. Uzi and Doggo, former teammates last year in BLG 2022. Is it a clean win? No, it's 2-1, and honestly, the games were pretty, the Game 2 is pretty lopsided out of EDG. I mean, for EDG, but, you can't 2-1 Ultra Prime. EDG and RNG right now are in this group, the players are too good on paper. You look at all 5 players on the team, and you're like, the team's pretty good. EDG, like, breathe is, I mean, Ale is solid. JJ, former champion. He just got picked for the Asia Games Chinese team. Fofo is a weak spot, but so is Tangwan. And then Uzi Mako has, I mean, if you think about that duo 5 years ago, or even a few years ago, that's maybe the best duo in the world, right? This is like a dream pair in the bot lane. And then RNG have excellent players as well. So they're just kind of middling there, and they'll make the playoffs, but they just are missing something when it comes to playing the good teams. LCK, HLE, and D+. D+ would win 2-0 as their 11th in the power rankings, now 4-3. HLE 7th at 4-3. When I did the power rankings yesterday, I did say this was without thinking about the Clid situation. With Grizzly in there, I would probably drop HLE. Maybe D+ goes to 10th, and HLE drop a little bit or something. Just because there are question marks with an 18-year-old jungler. Clid was a problem, but Grizzly was a big gap today, and that's going to happen. Honestly, it's going to happen. I hope a lot of people give him grace and allow him to develop, and that is the best chance for him in his career and HLE as a whole. This split. Showmaker was disgusting, going 17-09, 34% of damage. Played Tristana both games. Canyon 2-1, 27. So the jungle mid duo went 19-1 and 36. And it was Ivor and Tristana. So a supportive jungler plus 80 carry mid. Kingan 3-7-3, 26% of damage in the loss. Once again, leading HLE in damage. What is Viper doing? Not enough. What is Zeka doing? Not enough. I mean, it was just absolute domination. Even Kana in top lane into Kingan was ahead and looking very good. In game one, like, Showmaker had a crazy KDA. Like, he was killing everything. But Kana was ahead in XP because he was just dominating his lane and did not need to leave it. So, I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good performance out of HLE, but there are issues now. There are behind-the-scenes issues that they're going to have to work through as veterans, and hopefully HLE can figure it out by the end of the first round robin, so they can go in the second one, secure a playoff spot, secure a regional finals opportunity to go to Worlds, because that team is Worlds quality. After that, we had KDF and KT. KT would win 2-0. They're fourth in the power rankings, now 6-1. KDF 22nd at 3-4. Aiming 12-1-12, 36% of damage. Lahens 0-1-19, so the bot lane went 12-2 and 31. Bulldog 1-4-3, 32% of damage and loss. KT just ran him over in game one. No, that's not true. They ran him over in game two. Game one, KDF actually opened it up ahead. Young Jay made things happen, went top lane a couple times, put Keen in a position that was not great. But Dudu could not run with it, which is unfortunate because Dudu has done pretty well for the team over the last couple weeks. Despite them losing, he was one of the more consistent aspects. Taeyun and June completely dominated, though, by aiming Lahens. So you could pick aiming or Lahens for MVP in game two. I mean, it was very one-sided. BDD found value in both games as a facilitator, playing the Nico and etc. So, I mean, there's that. Cuz was fine on the Sejuani. KT, I said it yesterday in the power rankings, I'll say it again, KT are looking like one of, if not the best teams right now at figuring out how to win. Them and JDG are really, really on point with that. And there is something to be said for understanding what your win conditions are. I don't like playing one-dimensionally, but if you're going to play one-dimensionally, you have to play it perfectly, and that is how they're playing right now. They're playing very well. KDF had no answer. Sneak peek for tomorrow: LPL, LGD, and BLG. LGD 1-9, coming off of a loss to OMG. BLG third in the power rankings, 9-1, coming off of a win against IG. When these two teams played in spring, LGD actually won 2-1. Jungle mid support matchup remains the same, so Meteor, Haichao, Jinzhao went 22-12 and 61 in the win for 1,020 DPM, under half of the damage, 47%. Shun, Yagao, and An went 11, 28, and 34 for 977 DPM, so pretty close, but 52% of the damage. So the trio for BLG were more impactful than Elk and Bin in that loss, which I mean would make sense why they lost, right? I would say Elk and Bin are the two best players on the team. So for those two not to be dealing more of the share of damage than what was Zhaozhou and LPC at the time is a problem. After that, OMG FPX. OMG 8th in the power ranking, 6-2, coming off of a win against LGD. FPX 4-6, coming off of an upset win against Weibo. Last time they played, OMG won 2-1. 9 of the 10 players remain the same. The only difference is now that Xiaola is back in top lane for FPX. Able and LWX led their teams in damage. Able going 10-6-19, 28%. LWX 10-10-10, 31%. OMG definitely has to respect FPX. Luckily for them, because FPX beat Weibo, I would imagine OMG are prepared. Third series, Team Wii and LNG. Team Wii 13th in the power rankings, 5-2, coming off of a win against Top Esports. LNG 9th, 6-4, coming off of an upset loss to IG. Last time they played, LNG won 2-0. We're going to look at mid-jungle support here for comparison. Tarzan, Scout, and Hang went 16, 6, and 75 for 1,264 DPM, 54% of the damage, so the majority. Actually, sorry, that was Hung. I have to specify. Tarzan, Scout, Hung, because Team We have Hang. Hang, Shanks, and Iwandi in the loss were dominated with 5 kills, 29 deaths, 17 assists. Damage was close at 1,200 DPM, 56%. So similar impact, really, in the damage department, but they died a lot. And one could make their assumptions as to why that happened in a 2-0 diffy. LCK, Genji and Bro. Genji are second in the power rankings at 6-0, coming off of a win against D+. Bro are 1-5, coming off of a loss to HLE. Last time these two teams played, Genji won 2-0. 9 of the 10 starters, if we're going based on what Bro played last series, are the same. Ivory is the difference in mid lane. Peanut went deathless, 8-0-14, 19% of damage in the win. Umpty 1-6-4, 12% in the loss. After that, we have Liv Sandbox, DRX. Liv Sandbox 2-4, coming off of a loss against HLE. DRX 1-5, coming off of a win against Nongshim. Last time these two teams played, DRX actually won 2-1. Sorry, that's a lie. Sandbox won 2-1. The similar matchups are top mid support. So Birdall, closer Kale went 17, 15, and 49 for 1,203 DPM, 57% of the damage. So under 3/5 between top both solo lanes and support. Then we look at Rascal, Fate, and Barrel. They went 10, 20, and 38 for 1,172 DPM, so similar DPM, but 66% of the damage. So Sandbox's 80 carry at the time, Envy, and Jungler, Willer, were much more impactful than Juhan Krako, because actually that was a series where Juhan actually had an opportunity to play in spring, and Playeta, who is back in Academy now for DRX. LCS preview, Energy, FlyQuest, Energy 2-4, FlyQuest 0-6 at the time I'm making this. FlyQuest won the last time these two teams played. Impact, Speak of Vikla went 17, 6, and 27 for 1,273 DPM. That was 59% of the damage, so under 3/5. Dokla Contracts Palafox went 8, 15, and 13 for even more damage, though, 1,455 DPM, so shoot, 180 DPM more. However, it was 75% of the damage, so 3/4 of the damage was from the top side of the rift for CLG at the time, and for FlyQuest it was only 57%, so the bot side being the dominant part for Fly in that one. After that, we have Team Liquid, Cloud9. Team Liquid 20th in the power rankings, 4-2. Cloud9 15th, 5-1. Cloud9 won the last time they played. Eminez led the team in damage, going 3-1-8 on a Syndra with 32% of damage. Harry went 1-1 on an Akali with only 23% in the loss. That is the marquee matchup in the LCS tomorrow. Dignitas TSM, Dig 3-3, TSM 3-3. The last time these two teams played, TSM would win. Boogie Wild Turtle remain the same. They went 9-4-15 for 1,359 DPM, 43%, so almost 2/5 of the damage, and that's a lot of DPM. Santorin Tomo went 4-7-7, 794 DPM, so 550 or so less, and 40% of damage. So not quite as much of the share, but the DPM is very, very different. So they did not impact the Rift quite as much. EG Immortals, EG 18th in the power rankings, 5-1. Immortals 2-4. Last time these two teams played, Immortals won. Balulu and Jojo Pune is a matchup that holds true. Balulu went 1-1-7 on a Galio with 15% of damage. Jojo Pune 1-1, 25% on Annie. That is one of the few Balulu facilitator games. Immortals kind of should not do that. They haven't this split, but then again, Immortals are just not very good. Lastly, 100 Thieves Golden Guardians, 100 Thieves 2-4. Golden Guardians 24th in the power rankings, 4-2. Last time these two teams played, Golden Guardians won in spring playoffs 3-2. River Stixay Huhi went 31, 42, and 93 in that one. 1,049 DPM and 56% of the damage. And what's interesting is it kind of just shows when you're over a 5-game series, there might be a blowout, there might be a close win here, close loss, things like that. That will make the KDAs favor the losing side, or even the damage, or all the stats for that matter, except win-loss. And in this case, it holds true, because Closer, Doublelift, Busio have a better KDA, 47, 34, and 104. I mean, that's simple. More kills, less deaths, more assists. 1,045 DPM, almost exactly the same, 4 DPM difference, and 54% of the damage. So actually, the DPM is almost the same, and the percentage is 2% different, so very close, which would mean that the solo laners of 100 Thieves actually were more impactful than Golden Guardians last time in the damage department. And you look at KDAs, the KDA of the jungle jungle bot lane was 100 Thieves favored. So that one is going to be interesting. We'll see if Quid, after his first week, kind of got the jitters out and can take the next step here. Another young player that deserves grace and an opportunity and a long leash, in my opinion. So that is what it is. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like it, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, the power rankings video came out last night. You might have missed it in the algorithm. If you want to, follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord if you want to participate in the power rankings, predictions, Hall of Fame voting. We're on the 5th class right now. What else? Oh, join the Discord and become a YouTube supporter if you want my predictions. They're behind the paywall for those that want to look at those. And thank you for watching.